Hello and welcome back to another Refresh Play video. Today we'll be looking at one of the best-selling games of the year, Stupid Deaths, and this game is for ages 12 and up and is for 2 to 6 players. So this is the front of the box. Here lies Stupid Deaths, the frightfully funny game. I'll just read you the blurb from the back. Stupid Deaths, the frightfully funny game. Charles Darwin was right. He proved that only the fittest survive. This game celebrates the stupid deaths over the centuries. Players race the Grim Reaper around the board before the Grim Reaper catches and kills them. Stupid Deaths is full of dark fun, where players who are dead right win. The contents of this game is 1 game board, 300 Stupid Death cards, 6 player pawns, 1 Grim Reaper with a stand, 12 true and false voting cards, 6 extra life tokens and instructions. You can see a layout of the game board on the back. So opening up this box, you have your set of instructions. The game board, you have your Grim Reaper tokens and 6 extra life tokens. Standard player pawns and the stand for the Grim Reaper. You have a set of vote cards, so some of these will say true and some will say false, and these are coffin shaped. And 300 Stupid Death cards. Object of the game. In Stupid Deaths, there are 2 ways a player can win. Be the first player to reach the finish, the red space on the game board. Be the last player on the game board after all the other players have been caught by the Grim Reaper. Setup. Each player chooses a player pawn and places it on the green space at the bottom of the game board. Players place a Grim Reaper on the red space at the top of the game board. 1 player shuffles the Stupid Deaths cards and places them in the middle of the game board. Each player is given an extra life token along with 1 true and 1 false voting card. Playing the game. The oldest player goes first by picking a Stupid Deaths card and reading it aloud. After the reader is finished, all other players decide if it's a true and real Stupid Death or false and made up Stupid Death by placing one of their voting cards face down in front of them. When everyone has voted, the reader announces if the Stupid Death is true or false, and all voting cards are turned face up. Each player who voted correctly moves his or her player pawn 1 space forward clockwise on the game board away from the chasing Grim Reaper. Each player who voted incorrectly does not move, but in turn must move the Grim Reaper 1 space forward clockwise towards the player pawns on the game board. For example, if 3 players guess incorrectly, the Grim Reaper moves 3 spaces forward. The reader does not move unless all players have answered incorrectly. If this happens, the reader moves his or her player pawn 2 spaces forward on the game board. Play continues in this manner, with players taking turns as the reader, picking up Stupid Death cards and reading them aloud. When the Grim Reaper catches up and lands on or passes a player's space, that player has been touched by death and is now out of the game, unless he or she has an extra life token. Extra life token. When the Grim Reaper lands on or passes a player's space, the player can use his or her extra life token. The player moves his or her player pawn one space ahead of the Grim Reaper on the game board and discards the extra life token. Remember, players only have one extra life token per game. The next time the Grim Reaper catches a player, that player is dead and out of the game. And then you have the winning the game again. The first player to reach the red space wins the game, or the last player on the board after all the other players have been caught and killed by the Grim Reaper is the winner. Just give you a couple of examples on what's on the cards. So Susie Eastman, born in 1965 and died in 1982. New Yorker Susie was so engrossed in reading a book while walking down the street she failed to notice the street sign in front of her. She walked straight into the sign, knocking herself unconscious. She woke up after a few minutes and seemed to have suffered no ill effects, but 3 days later she died from blood on the brain. Then each player would have their true or false tokens face down, and once everyone is finished you turn it face up, and of course this one is false. And I'll give you another example. Napoleon Bonaparte, born in 1769, died in 1821. Napoleon Bonaparte was a French military and political leader who rose to prominence during the French Revolution. After losing the Battle of Waterloo to the British, Napoleon was exiled to the island of St. Helena, where he died after choking on a fishbone. And there are 300 of these death cards. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.